Our friend Tom is a master welder, and he took measurements for protecting the wood underneath where the stove is going to go. He used a sheet of steel cut on a laser and bent. He also made a heat shield wall out of the same material to protect the outlet in the back and the fridge wall from getting too hot. Ross bolted down the pieces to our wooden shelf with stainless screws. Ross is very precise with everything he builds, so it didn't surprise me when he asked to use a piece of string and a fishing weight to make sure that the cut was going to be centered perfect. Once he was ready to cut the holes in the Airstream, we had to move the trailer. We were tightly squeezed next to our friend's wall of palm trees. Ross used a Dremel tool with a cutting bit to cut the first piece of metal out. The next step was to cut the wall insulation bigger than the actual hole to prevent it from getting too hot. The last step was to cut the outside of the Airstream to the exact measurement of the 7-inch hole. He took extra precautions to make sure that his measurements were precise because of the curvature of the trailer. Cubic Mini Stoves recommends that you put your flue pipe at least 1 foot past the highest point of your roof. We wanted our stove to be stationary so we didn't have to keep taking it down when we move, so we only put it a little over a foot from the curb, but not from the highest point. We didn't want our flue pipe sticking out too high for when we traveled. Doing 1 foot from the highest point would have sat it higher than our air conditioner. Make your own best judgment to fit your trailer. Ross used black automotive high-temp silicone to seal the pipe to the rubber boot. The initial burning of the stove takes about 30 hours to cure the high-temp paint. We had all of our windows open when we first fired it up, and it maybe took about 3 or 4 fires for us not to smell it anymore. The stove is definitely not a one and done. It is a learning curve on how to control the flame, keep it going, messing with the vents, and using it under windy conditions.
Can I go see?
Sure.
One problem yet to solve. Cubic Mini recommends that you take off the spark arrestor and cap the flue pipe when traveling. That didn't work for us either, so we decided to leave it screwed to the pipe and made a cover around the spark arrestor from the extra piece of piping. It is held together with 2 hose clamps, keeping it safe from the elements when we travel. We have driven over 1,000 miles since we installed it, and we haven't had any issues. To make our setup complete, Tom was amazing enough to make us a little poker and a shovel that will be strong enough to last longer than the stove. We aren't masters yet, but we are certainly enjoying the fact that we can make a wood fire with the Cubic Mini stove in our Airstream. Thanks for making it all the way to the end of this video. Don't forget to hit the like button for this video if you liked it, and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss our next video. Thanks, and we'll see you at the next place.